Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look again on the cryptocurrencies as usual, as we do on Mondays. So you probably already know what has happened in the weekend. So there are two more banks now have the problems, but at the same time the Janet Yellen together with the FDIC and together with the Fed have created so-called anti-crisis plan. So they intend to support the public, the households, that they could return the deposits, but unfortunately the owners of the bank, shareholders and the creditors probably will lose some part of their assets. So that brings some relief on the market. So consumer response on stock market, you could see performance on the coal market with some minor retracement. Also, some banks right now has become the objects for takeover. For instance, the branch in the United Kingdom of the Silicon Valley suggested to be bought by the government at the first stage. But all this stuff is minor details. The most important things that we could say currently, first, is the measures that Fed and the United States Treasury intends to provide start smelling like some kind of the quantitative easing, because bonds that actually belongs to the banks remains on the balance. They just will be used as a collateral for possible fund providing. Despite what really problems banks have, Fed provides the liquidity. Currently, the amount of this liquidity is not really big. So for the two banks, it will be approximately 40, maybe 60 billions. But this is really close already to the level of the quantitative tightening per month that usually Fed applies. So it's around 95 billions. So in fact, we will see that this money actually will be returned back to the market. Second, Goldman Sachs already tells that probably there will be no rate change in March. At least they have decreased the chances for that. Third is that actually, as we said in our weekly report, we suggest that it should be probably massive performance, just because rates remains high, public are aimed on the high yield, and they will keep moving cash out of the bank's deposits to the United States Treasury bills. So whatever plan Fed has created, they will not be able to stop the public. And it means that this help that Fed intends to provide with the Treasury probably will last for some time. So it will not be just for receiving on 1, 2, 3 banks. And actually, it will be probably more extended performance. From that standpoint, we see some pullback on the cryptocurrencies. At first glance, it seems really cool, but in fact, that could be easily explained. It's just people who have the money on the deposits and they see all the stuff that's going around. They are not running to the bank to withdraw the cash. They just electronically, using the bank client system, just withdraw the money and put them in a Bitcoin. So this is some kind of the attempt to save the assets in a way of the holding it somewhere else, not just moving in some other banks until the people will make the decision what to do next with their liquidity. So that tells us that at this point, it might be reversal, but at this point, I would prefer to wait for a few sessions and see what will happen. If this upper direction that we've got recently will not reverse soon, and Bitcoin will keep going higher, that indeed maybe, by taking a look at the weekly chart, just a few days ago we have talked about the possible bottom of the right shoulder around 1950-20 even. This spike, it might be the bottom of the right shoulder, and indeed it could mean that hand shoulder stands in place, and here market has to keep going higher with this pattern. Additionally, if market will drop below it, it will tell that opposite is true. This probably market will just erase this pattern and keep going to the 2023. That's we already talked about many times. So that explains why this particular moment is very important for the cryptocurrencies and its performance with the nearest weeks. But at the same time, as I said, currently it would be better to not overestimate the importance of this pullback. It might be just some technical response. It doesn't mean that sentiment on the market has changed. It could mean just some cash flows, technical cash flows on the banking accounts into the cryptocurrencies. That will not change the sentiment, but it just provides some support to the cryptocurrency at this point. That's why we need to wait and see what will happen in nearest time. On the daily chart, another important moment here. So take a look. Actually, market has bounced precisely from the points that we discussed. It's a XOP agreement, but additionally on a fundamental background that has happened, actually you can see it has exceeded the level that we have initially thought. So we said that probably will be somewhere to the 2150, but as you can see it has run to the 2250 actually. But at this point, here let's take a look at the performance of the market. It could form the bearish grabber. If bearish grabber will be formed, it suggests and confirms, probably could confirm our thought that it might be just short-term performance, technical performance, with no relation to actually some market fundamental background. So it's just technical cash flows between the different accounts in the bank and the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies. So that's why I keep an eye on the possible grabber here. If it will be formed, be aware of possible downward drop, and maybe it tells us that the right arm of the weekly hand shoulders is not in place yet. On the 4 time frame chart, you could see that market stands actually near the resistance. So this is 23 area of the 618 resistance, and at this point this initial reaction is over. So we need to see what continuation will follow. If you would like to take the long position, anyway, you probably will be watching for some pullback here, trying to take the position on some support areas of this most recent rally. For a bearish position taken, here's very strong action, and that's why it's better to not just shoot from the hip and then just taking the position against it. It would be better to get some background. As I said, the daily grabber, it might become the one. So once it will be formed, market starts the bounce. So from that standpoint, you could think about taking short position, but at this point, when we have a really strong action and no bearish patterns in place, well, it will be not good idea trying to go against it and taking position blindly. So for the short traders, bearish traders, I would suggest that it's better to wait maybe 1-2 sessions and see what will happen. So that's actually what we have on Bitcoin right now.